Clash of Clans is a game that can be played in seemingly endless different ways. That being said, there are some things that you just really shouldn't do when playing the game. So here are 21 things in Clash of Clans that you just might be doing wrong. The first mistake you might be making is maxing out every town hall before upgrading to the next level. While this does seem like good advice on paper and it's something a lot of people tell others to do, it's not actually the most efficient way to play the game. Your best bet is to keep upgrading your defenses, heroes, and troops pretty evenly until there's nothing else to spend one of your resources on. For example, if you still have a couple of cannons and troops left to upgrade, but your heroes and dark troops are already maxed, you might as well upgrade your town hall to avoid wasting that extra dark elixir in the meantime. Now, while maxing your town hall isn't the perfect advice, you also want to avoid rushing your town hall at any cost. Like the previous tip, there are a lot of players that go around telling people to rush so that they can unlock more powerful defenses like the Eagle Artillery and the Monolith sooner, but every time you upgrade your town hall, you actually get less loot from players of lower town halls than you. This means that if you upgrade your town hall too fast, your army will likely lag behind, leaving you unable to win much loot from battle and making it nearly impossible to upgrade your base. This next mistake is not stacking your potion effects. I'll be the first to admit that I didn't actually know you could stack potion effects like the Builder Potion until a year or two ago. The game doesn't necessarily tell you that this works, so I was a bit hesitant to try it at first, but you can actually use as many Builder, Resource, Training, or other potions that you want at one time, and the time will just keep getting added to the existing timer. This is super useful when you want to use, for example, several Builder Potions, since you can just activate them all before bed or something like that so that all of the work gets done while you're sleeping. The next mistake is not clearing your obstacles. Obstacles give you gems, which can really add up over time if you're clearing those few that spawn every day in your base. The game actually has a limit of 45 obstacles on the map at a time, and the closer you let your base get to that limit, the less obstacles that will spawn, leaving you with less gems overall. Don't worry though, because special obstacles like the Christmas trees and Clashiversary cakes don't actually count towards this limit, and they'll always spawn if there's enough space. Next, we have buying gems in the shop. Now hear me out on this one. If you're going to spend any money at all in the game, you should prioritize buying the Gold Pass since it provides way more value than the other purchases by far. The Gold Pass provides large discounts in both resources and time for all of your upgrades, allows you to get huge loot payouts at the end of each season, and also gives you a ton of magic items that a lot of times would cost $5 or so on their own. If you end up needing a little more help after buying the pass, then you can consider popping open that shop and buying some good old gems, but just make sure you're using them wisely in places where you get the best value. Next, we have not entering a creator code before purchases. This tip actually goes for any Supercell game, not just Clash of Clans, but by clicking this little C in the top right of your shop, you'll be able to enter a creator code which will apply to any purchases you make in the game. The creator code doesn't change anything for you, but it will send a small portion of the revenue that Supercell makes from the purchases to the creator whose code you entered. I myself don't have a code yet, I'll link it in the description when I do, but anyone watching this is bound to know of another Supercell creator whose code you could enter. Remember, those codes do expire after 1 week, so always make sure you have a code in before making a purchase in the game. Next, we have upgrading your heroes in 5-level increments. This actually used to be a smart strategy back before hero equipment was added to the game, since the hero abilities would improve every 5 upgrade levels the hero received. Since hero abilities are now tied directly to equipment levels, it's no longer useful to upgrade in 5-level increments, so go ahead and upgrade those heroes in whatever order and way you want. Going along with the theme of heroes, I've seen tons of players have their Archer Queen at a very high level, and then I see that their king is hardly upgraded at all. Trust me, I get it, the Archer Queen is way more flashy and seems a lot more powerful, but the king can actually help out a ton in battle when he's at a high enough level. So instead of ignoring the king, I'd recommend upgrading all of your heroes pretty evenly to help out your attacks as much as possible. Speaking of hero upgrades, it's also common to see players that never participate in wars because their heroes are always upgrading. Especially since the introduction of hero equipment, it's not a very good idea to sit out of wars just because 1 or 2 of your heroes are down for a few days. Wars are one of the best and only ways to get ores in the game, which are essential for upgrading your hero equipment to improve their abilities. It makes sense to stay out of war every once in a while if you happen to have 3 or even 4 of your heroes down at once, but I definitely recommend sticking around for war when you just have 1 or 2 of them upgrading, since the benefits will far outweigh the drawbacks for you. Next, we have using the work for hire goblin. This goblin not only has an extremely punchable face, but his deals are almost never worth the gems. He usually charges you hundreds or even thousands of gems to act as an extra builder, but he still takes the same amount of time to finish the upgrade, which in my opinion is a ripoff. So next time you see that smug face pop up as an option in game, I'd recommend saving your gems and taking your business elsewhere where you'll get better value. Next, we have using mass Electro Dragons at later town halls. Electro Dragons are a very popular troop in the game, and that actually makes a lot of sense since they're quite powerful. And while using all E-Drags can be a great option at Town Hall 11 and even Town Hall 12, using them too far past that usually doesn't work too well. This is because at later town halls, defending players have more counter options such as a higher level Eagle Artillery, the Scattershot, Monolith, and even Spell Towers. Each time you upgrade your town hall, I'd recommend either coming up with a new army of your own or looking online to find strong armies for that town hall so that you can actually 3-star in war. Next, we have using gems before having 5 builders. The most important factor in upgrading your base quickly in Clash of Clans is how many builders you have. Buying the 3rd builder is something you're practically forced to do during the tutorial, but I recommend saving your gems and not using any of them until you've bought the 4th and 5th builders. Not only that, but it would also be smart to put some time into the builder base from early town hall levels so that you can unlock the 6th builder as soon as possible. Having 5 or 6 builders around will make upgrading all of your your buildings way faster and will make the game much less boring since you won't be waiting around as much for upgrades to finish. Next, we have farming in Legends League. I've personally seen several players that claim to be farming and trying to get a lot of loot to upgrade their base, but then I noticed that they're in Legends League. While getting to Legends League is a cool achievement and looks good on your profile, I wouldn't actually recommend that most players stick around there for their day-to-day attacking. The reason for this is that although there is a lot of loot in Legends League because of how the attacks work, you're also limited to only a few attacks per day, and you'd be much better off just using mass sneaky goblins in the Crystal or Masters League since you'd gain way more loot this way. Next is using runes when your storages aren't empty. We all know that runes of gold, elixir, and dark elixir will all fill their respective storages up completely with the click of a button. That being said, the closer you can get your storages to empty before using the rune, the better, since it'll be giving you more loot. For example, if I were to be able to hold 20 million gold and I already had 10 million, I would probably go upgrade a couple of walls or defenses before using the rune of gold so that I could get the full 20 million. Next, we have staying in battles until they finish. Especially in the builder's base, it can be annoying to wait for people to finish their attacks sometimes, especially when they're going to use those sneaky archers and pick off the buildings one by one. Not only that, but farming can get a bit repetitive too and take up a little too much of your time. Well, once you're done placing all your troops in a builder base attack, try force closing the app next time and then reopening it. This will cause the entire attack to play out instantly while you're restarting the app, allowing you to jump into the next attack more quickly. This works especially well with mass super P.E.K.K.A.s, since if they're at a high enough level, they'll usually get a 3-star pretty easily. This also works in the clan capital and the home village, and it's actually the way I'm able to get my clan capital raids done so quickly on the weekends. Next, we have picking the wrong clan game tasks. Piggybacking off the previous tip, the fastest way you can get to 4,000 points in clan games so you can reach the extra reward is by doing the builder base challenges. A lot of the challenges for builder base simply involve earning a star with a specific troop or earning a certain number of stars total in a certain time frame. So, for example, if I were to accept the task to earn 1 star using bombers, I'd simply use all power P.E.K.K.A.s with 1 camp of bombers, place everything down, and then force close the app. When I reopen the app a few seconds later, the attack will have played out and I will have completed the task, allowing me to rinse and repeat with other builder base tasks and get to the 4,000 points in no time at all. Next, we have not doing constant wars. A lot of clans only do clan wars every once in a while, but as mentioned before, clan wars are one of the best possible ways to get lots of ores and upgrade your hero equipment. Since hero equipment is so important for your overall progress in the game, I think it only makes sense to do constant back-to-back wars, even if you aren't winning them all, since you'll still get a lot of ores over time by doing this. Next, we have not designing your own base. While it can be a lot of fun to browse different base layouts online and copy them, this actually makes it very easy for enemy players in war to simply look up strategies against that specific layout and 3-star you with no problem at all. Designing your own custom base layout allows your base to be unique, making it harder for players to 3-star you since they don't know where traps are and don't know how to attack the base. Not only that, but base building can actually be a lot of fun, so if you haven't given it a try in a while, go ahead and pop open that village edit mode and get designing. Next, we have using healers after unlocking the druid. The new druid troop in Clash of Clans is essentially just an all-around better version of the healer. Once you upgrade your barracks after getting to Town Hall 14, you unlock the druid, which for only 2 more housing space than a healer gives you much more healing, especially on heroes. Not only that, but the druid can also target both ground and air troops with its healing effect, and it also turns into a bear after healing, allowing it to damage the base as well and help you get more stars. For those reasons, I'd recommend ditching the healers once you unlock the druid. Next, we have skipping the attacking challenge events. I know some of the challenges that get released in game can be a bit difficult, but there are plenty of helpful YouTube videos out there for every challenge when they come out that will show you exactly how to 3-star the base. This will usually only take you a couple of minutes if you use the tutorial, and the rewards for doing this are usually pretty good, so don't sleep on those challenges. The next mistake I see people make is using the same attack strategy for every base. I can't tell you how many players I've seen that just pull out the same old army every war and attack their mirror with it. This type of player usually doesn't ever get more than a 2-star in war, and you'd be much better off just taking a quick look at a couple of bases when the war starts to see who you should attack. If you do decide to attack your mirror every war no matter what, at least consider switching up the army depending on what the base is looking like. And if you enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing to help us reach our goal of 10,000 subscribers. Also, YouTube thinks you'll like this video, so click on it to see if they're right, and have a great day.